I didn't expect to be gone for so long and basically disappear off the face of the writer, author to book talk earth. But the good thing is that I'm back. And my reasons for disappearing are something that I want to not dive into, but dip my toes into, just to sort of explain where my mind has been at. In mid to late 2023, I experienced the worst mental health struggle that I've ever had so far. And for the longest time, I wasn't really sure what was causing it. And then I realized it was my work. And that made things even more difficult for me because my work, my day job, overlaps with the content creation sort of skill set that I do on AuthorTube, and a little bit of my writing as well, as my work involves copywriting from time to time. There was a point where I was doing it so much at work and not liking it that even when I was doing similar kind of stuff outside of my full-time job, that I found it equally such a slug to get through when I was doing it for AuthorTube and writing purposes. Then as a result, I just had a really bad relationship with writing. I wasn't writing as much. I got into a massive reading slump where I was reading not even one book a month at some points last year. I'm slowly getting into a better place now, but what I went through pushed back a lot of my goals and made me not get to the places where I wanted to be by this time in my life in terms of my author platform, etc. Speaking of my platforms, I need to change what I'm doing on this platform to be able to make my work output healthier and prevent myself into getting into a place like that, where there was times where I was taking month-long breaks or where I was skipping videos or just didn't want to put a video out altogether. With that, I also want to change my content. A lot of my content was very advice-centric and it made me run out of ideas or not want to talk about these ideas. So I want to take more of an analysis approach. Deep dives into tropes, things happening in the industry, or even entire franchises to work out what they do well in terms of the writing, storytelling sides of things. Because I think it will also help out my main enemy in all of this, the algorithm. I didn't like what I was putting out towards the end of that cycle, and the algorithm seemed to like it even less. While I do admire the success and growth that other AuthorTubers have, I do feel envy that I'm still stuck where I am. And it's an envy that I don't want to have, but one that I have nonetheless. With the YouTube algorithm, I don't know what it is I'm doing wrong. I just know that if I put asexual in the title of a video, that it's automatically going to get more views because people want me to talk about my asexuality, which I am planning to cover more, but trying to overlap asexuality with storytelling, you could only do so much. So yeah, things will be changing here and probably evolving as I try to work out what the algorithm and the audiences that I want to cater to will like, because ideally I want it to be people who are going to be reading my books. Speaking of my books, I've had a lot of time to think about and work on the ASTER'S CODA series while doing editing-based stuff for Semblance. And I started to write book 3 when I was starting to think also more of what the rest of the series is going to look like. I initially planned 5 books for it, and after realizing a plot hole between books 4 and 5, there might also be a book 6. Potentially a book 7, which is fine while Semblance is being edited and I'm able to do some more fine-tuning of my outlining and working out what I want in the series in the background. I intend to make way for not the stories that I want to write, like the ASTER'S CODA series is, but stories I realize now that I need to write. My mental health struggles that I've had recently and me starting to get out of them has made me want to go back to work on Maledicts. I mentioned this series 2 years ago. Wow, yeah. It's been a while. And the struggles that I have been personally going through, I realize are similar struggles that when I was outlining the Maledict series, our two main characters, Echo and Orphe, are going through. And so it makes me feel like I need to write this kind of stuff because of that connection, that part of myself that I put into those two characters, how I'm exploring it now. I feel like I should also be exploring it with my main characters. And also while I'm outlining my queer high fantasy series with a non-binary asexual protagonist, that one has been a little bit harder for me to work out what it will look like, because I've just got that concept of a non-binary circus elf sounds so weird when you say it like that, discovers that they are asexual in a very similar scope that I am asexual. The actual social media content that I will be putting out, I'm just gonna say right now, it's going to be inconsistent. As I'm still in a stage where I'm trying to work out what my workload is going to look like, and things are still changing in my life as I speak, as this video is also being published, I don't know what my workload is going to be like. So instead of sticking to a workload and committing to it, I'm just going to experiment and see what that workload is going to look like as I go through, what I'm willing to put forth, what I can put forth without abandoning it completely. The only thing that I know will be changing is that instead of a weekly blog post, it's just going to be a monthly blog post. So I'm going to be talking about all the books that I've read in a certain month and my thoughts on them, rather than each week doing a lengthy review, because I think my review word count shrinks every time, just a little bit. This is an update video, but it's not really an exciting update video. It's just a I need to get my shit together kind of video. So regardless, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you will be able to stick around for whatever content that I am able to provide as I go more into the analysis brain rather than the advice brain. And I'll be keeping you guys updated as things happen. So have your notifications turned on. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, the other platforms that I use. Don't follow me on my Twitter account is dead. Subscribe to my newsletter, I'm intending to get back into that. And with that, I will see you in my next video, whenever that may be published. It will be soon. I've got a whole bunch of videos that I am going to be bulk filming now. Alright, bye everybody.